And we're live.
There you go. Today, Mike, look, we are joined by the one and only, the award-winning Rachael Long from Breedon. Hey, Rachael, how are you?
Hi, guys. How are you?
Hello, Rachael.
Good
to have you on the show again. I mean, you're a regular to the community, aren't you? And we do thank you for your support. And I know you've got lots of interesting stuff to share with us as well.
Well, hopefully.
But you got a new office. That's the one thing I've noticed. You got a new office and a room with a view. You showed us that earlier, so we will talk about that later. So before we get into the conversation with Rachael, let's cover what we normally do. Mike, any news announcements, any breaking news, anything that's going on in the working week of an accounts payable? I don't know about you, but I think the whole world's on holiday at the moment. It's only look. I think it's just Rachael who's in the office. Everybody seems to be on holiday at the moment, which, you know what, I don't blame them. I've been away for a few days. Look, hopefully be rested now. But yourself, Mike, I mean, even our partner network are on holiday, I think.
I have, yeah, I've had some dialogue. I can only assume it was poolside or other, but wherever people are. But yeah, people confessing to actually keeping up with their work emails whilst on holiday, which I think is crazy. You just turn your phone off and go on holiday. But anyway, no, we've got some good news. I can't tell you who, but we're very close to announcing the headline sponsor for our conference. Conference plug on the ticker banner below. Save the date. But yeah, so that's good. And we've got a couple more partners signed up. And obviously, I know we've got more keynote confirmations as well, and we'll be publishing the full agenda shortly. So yeah, I think by this time next week, as long as everything's signed, sealed, and delivered, and we've got everybody's got media approval, we'll be able to announce the headline sponsor, and that'll obviously go out on all delivery as well. So yeah, and then we've got a couple of face-to-face events coming up, Jamie, I believe.
Absolutely. So yes, a couple of things. So firstly, as Mike said, the conference is down below. So the website is https://apcon.online. Don't ask me who come up with that website address, but that's the website address you need to go grab your tickets. Our corporate members get free tickets to the conference, and there are tickets for purchase as well. But if at any point you struggle, reach out to myself and Mike, and we'll give you details. You're right. I mean, before we get into the crux of today's conversation with Rachael, because actually the second keynote speaker we're going to announce today, I've got Rachael to blame for. So if it all goes horribly wrong, I can blame her. If it all goes really, really exceptionally well, then, I might give her a bit of a shout out at some point. But the other two events we've got prior to or just after the conference, we obviously at the conference, Rachael's an award winner with us, and her team are also. So our awards are a big part of the conference. The industry leading awards. This is our 5th year, so it's a bit of a celebration this year, a bit of a party as well. But what we're also doing, because we're 3 years into the 100 influencers, we wanted to get a face-to-face event to not only celebrate that community of people, but also we have a thing called the APA Update course, which is all about legislation. Anybody that wants to know anything about accounts payable, about what's going on in the industry, any bits of legislation that might be coming down the line, things around payment reporting practices, CIS, anything, VAT changes, that course will be on the 24th of November. Now, we haven't confirmed a venue just as yet, but as of the 24th of November, the update course will be available for people to purchase a ticket and come along. But actually, if you make the top 100 influencers this year, for 2021, you will also get a complimentary ticket to that event as well, which is going to be sponsored by one of our great sponsors, but also it'll be a luncheon and a bit of a get-together and a bit of a network session as well. So I know that Rachael's been on that list for the 3 years. We've got to see whether she'll make it for the 3rd year this year as well. Fingers crossed. But again, it's a bit of a get-together as well, so it's a bit of a luncheon. So we've got that event coming up on the 24th of November, so please have a look at that one. But then also, one of our big supporters over the last few years is a guy called Brad Burton, who I know Rachael's personally met, and he's been a brilliant advocate and supporter of ours for many years now. This is the 3rd year that Brad supported us. Brad also runs a face-to-face networking show, which is going to be hosted on the 21st of September at the Aston Villa ground, which again, I know, Rachael, you've attended also previously. It's a networking event, so there's going to be lots of businesses there that people can meet with one another, large and small. We, as an organisation, are supporting Brad's organisation by attending also. So we're going to have a booth. You come along, have a chat with me, find exactly how tall I am. You know, the photos never do me any justice. So I'll be standing on a box maybe then, let's put it that way. So you can come along and have a chat with myself. Mike will be there also. And so any of our members, anybody who wants to come along, it's free to attend. It's at the Aston Villa football ground, the 21st of September. But we also, because we'll be there to support Brad, we'll have both sides of our business. So we'll have the APA business. We'll also have the payroll centre, who will have an element there as well. But we'll also be joined by a couple of Brad's keynote speakers as well. So there's a young lady who's joined us from a LinkedIn expert, who I'm not going to give too much detail away, but if you look on the thing that we'll share later, she's an absolute out-and-out expert. Anybody wants to promote their businesses or themselves, come along to the stand, listen to her on the keynote as well. She's exceptional. And also there's some great accountancy and finance speakers that are going to be there on the day as well. So bit of a plug for Brad. We're going to be there on the day supporting him. So if you're interested in any stuff we do, the APA, if you're any of our courses, again, bit of a plug from Rachel. She's done our courses. She's a member of ours. We'll be able to talk you through all that sort of stuff if you can attend. And it also be nice to see people face to face as well. 2 events, 21st of September and the 24th of November. All right, that's enough about you and me, Mike. Now, before we intro Rachel fully, let's introduce our second keynote speaker for the conference. For a few years, Rachel's been nudging me, telling me that we need to do a little bit more as a community around mental health and well-being, and I totally agree with her. It just never felt the right time in terms of our themes that we've got. This year's theme for the conference is all about the AP leaders' essential toolkit. And actually, with what we've all gone through for the last year or two, this felt the absolute right time. So we needed to not only get somebody that could talk about mental health and well-being, but somebody who's an industry expert. And it's Rachael who introduced Mr. John Sunderland Wright. So before we start talking about you and your team, Rachel, do you want to tell us a little bit about John and what he's done for you in your business?
So I've known John, we'll only ever admit to 10 years, but it's probably a lot longer than that. I've known John for a long, long time. I first met him at APTV, who were doing a resilience wellbeing program for all their staff. There was this strange little man came running in the room, running round, asking everybody how they were, calling everybody gorgeous and handsome. And I was like, who is this nutter? And he came in and did so much motivational stuff. He was just so engaging. Everybody came out those courses wanting to change the world, and he's just so empowering, uplifting, and motivating. And I've brought him into a couple of businesses that I've worked in, but Breedon has absolutely embraced it, and he's done resilience courses all around the business. The chimp paradox. He's got a little game that he plays where you move a ping pong ball around the game just with your mind. It's unbelievable. People don't believe it, but it's brilliant. You've got to get him to do that. Then he's also done some conflict management stuff with us. He's done some. He's working on strategy with one of our Welsh Lake teams, but he also does a lot of other stuff. So he works with children that have got ADHD, autism. And then he'll do some work with the CEO of Mercedes-Benz, and he's just done a massive rollout of resilience training with, I think he'll probably kill me if I get this wrong, Northumbrian Water. I think he's just done through lockdown and prior to lockdown some resilience training with those guys, and he works all over the world. He's getting on a bit now, so he's done a little. He's staying more in the UK, but years ago he did a lot with the Princess Trust, working with children and adults. So he's just brilliant. I call him Mr. Happy. I spoke to him on Friday and I came off the phone just smiling. And he has that, he's just so infectious, and my team absolutely love him. He's done some one-to-one mental health coaching with some of my team. And I'm just working with him at the minute to roll out a mental health course or training course for team leaders and managers, because obviously with lockdown and COVID, we're getting, and as a mental health first aider, I'm getting a lot of referrals for people that are really struggling, and not just my team, but the teams within the business. So we're just working at the minute on a rollout of mental health for team leaders and managers. not for them to deal with it, but for them to know how to support somebody with mental health issues. So yeah, I love him to bits. He's a great guy.
Well, look, I mean, yeah, look. As I said, we got Gillian's in the chat, and Gillian's just asked. She said, "Sounds great, lots of face-to-face events." And Gillian's also asked, "What's his name?" So it's John Sunderland Wright.
Sunderland Wright. He's on LinkedIn, so you'll find him on there. I think his business is actually called JS Achieve.
Okay, so what we'll do is we will put his details in the comments section below this post. Gillian, I will reach out to you personally and give you his details also. I've spoken to him. We're so excited for him to come to the conference. He's doing 2 sessions for us, either side of the lunch. First session is all about an awareness session, how you can be aware of your mental health and your well-being as a state. And then the second session after lunch, he'll take us through about the tools that we can utilize. And I'm assuming this is where he'll make a fool of you, myself, Rachel, and others.
Absolutely.
Where he'll mind mend us or whatever it will be. But he is exceptional. He's infectious. I've spoken to him several times. And also, just prior to coming on here, I found out that he's got a very similar stature to me. So he's a giant of a man. So when we stand together, it'll be like the 2 Ronnies, but the 2 little Ronnies. But we are really looking forward to have John here. So great addition. And I know that Mike, a lot of our members and partners have really, gone through a lot over the last year and a half. And I think it'd be a great addition to the conference lineup this year.
Yeah, obviously it's becoming increasingly important to look after ourselves, both physically, as we know, with the COVID restrictions and stuff. But, you just keep going, don't you, running on empty, and to be able to recognise the signs of in yourself, first and foremost, I guess, and in your colleagues, and ultimately your team members. I think it's going to play a much bigger part of working life balance for all of us. But talking about mending, we were chatting earlier, and you've been in the wars, haven't you, Rachel, with your 3 Peaks challenge?
Yeah, thanks for that, Mike. So we did a training walk on Sunday in the Peak District. So we did, I'll probably get these wrong, but we did a Lost Hill, we did Kinder Scout, and the third one I haven't got a clue. It was very rough terrain, and I've actually hurt my knee walking down the 3rd peak. So I actually won't be taking part in the 3 Peaks challenge, but the good news is I will still be manning the welfare vehicle, so I will be there cheering them on, but 4 of my team are also still taking part. And those of you that have met Chloe or have seen Chloe, she's like a mountain goat. So I have no doubt she will be up and down those mountains and finished and in the pub before the rest of them are done.
Well, look, I mean, as I said before, obviously it's an amazing local charity you're doing for a children's support charity. We put the details for the funding page below in the comments. So if anybody would like to sponsor, Rachel will be there tagging along with the vehicle and the Breedon group. There's over 30 of Breedon team that are doing this. Not all AP, but across the business. It's an amazing thing that you're doing. We've supported you, and I know others are as well. So good luck. Obviously, I know that you'll be driving, and maybe don't drink and drive, but ultimately you'll be driving, supporting them. But you're absolutely right. If you can, please give generously, because it's a brilliant cause that you're doing it for, and we're 100% behind you.
Thank you. I know on Sunday a lot of people found it quite tough, so I think people are starting to get a little bit nervous now.
Look, walking to the end of the office for me is bad enough. Walking up 3 peaks in the Yorkshire Dales, wherever they are, you know what? I said to Mike before we started, we need to do something next year. So, you know what? If any of our members are watching and they think of a good idea for the AP community to go and do something, let us know. Let us know in the comments, or reach out to us, and we'll get something for next year, Rachel. When your knees mended and we're all back back to face in full event, we will try and do something. Maybe a walk along the sidewalk for half a mile or something. That's about what I can manage, but we'll see.
Yes, that'll do.
Right, okay. You should do that. Go for the world record, sitting in a bathtub full of beans or something.
See, rather you than me, Mike.
This is the reason why I can't let him loose. This is a live session, by the way, Mike. I can't edit this bit out. But right, okay. Look, let's talk about Rachel. So hopefully our audience know who you are. Obviously, you're the head of accounts payable for Breedon Group. Your business has gone through, like every business, it's been a struggle through the last 18 months. the reason why we're getting you on today, one is for the intro of John and Johnson and Wright, but two, just to really get your view on what the last year and a half has looked like for you and your team, because your business has grown a little, and you've acquired, and you've moved into fancy new offices. I can see from your office behind you. So give us your viewpoint. How are you? How's the business? How have you coped over the last 18 months, if you don't mind, Rachel?
So Breedon we've literally been non-stop. I have a new word called relentless. We've just not stopped, and we're very lucky to be in an industry that is like that. I know a lot of companies I deal with have struggled, and I know a lot of other businesses struggled, but Breedon has just gone from strength to strength. We've just been so busy, and obviously there's a cement shortage, so we're working all hours to try and get that out the ground as well. But yeah, my team have literally we've just carried on as normal. Day to day has been normal. We integrated 3 of the biggest Breedon businesses in 3 months. So that was the beginning of this year. We've expanded the team slightly, so we've recruited. So I've gone from 18 to 22 team members. Hybrid working, so we've got some at home, some in the office. We've also acquired another business about 3 months ago, a smaller business. So we've just finished integrating that into the business. We've then got a finance system. I'm just laughing because I just know all these projects are coming. We've got one of our other bigger businesses, our cement business. We've got a finance system upgrade happening in October, so we're working on that now. We've then got a full business system upgrade quarter 3 next year. In between that, I've got to integrate 2 more of our Irish businesses. So it's full on. It's 100 mile an hour non-stop, and the team, I'm in awe of them. They're just absolutely fantastic. They just get on with it. They do it. They, if they've got a snuffle, they ring me up and say I'm working from home today. If they want to come in the office, they come in the office. We do keep it to a minimum. We have got we're allowed 60% of the team in at any one time. But if they're not feeling very well, they'll just work from home. So they just really just do what they do. They just get on with it, and they've been absolutely brilliant. They help each other out. They're constantly on the phone to each other, talking to each other. We've had the same as everybody else. We've had a few mental health issues with some of the team, so we've supported them through that. They've supported each other through that. So the last 18 months for us has just been absolutely relentless. Some of us haven't even been on holiday, can I say? I know, 2 years since I've had a decent holiday. But I do, obviously, we're obviously talking about Johnson and Wright. I'm also very mindful of the work-life balance. So the team do have a brilliant work-life balance. I don't expect them to work any more hours than they're contracted to. And they start at their start time, they finish at their finish time. I don't expect anything else of them, but within that time, they just work. They're just absolutely fantastic. And with what's coming up in the next year to 18 months, I think it's going to carry on. And no doubt Breedon will buy another business and drop that on me at some point. So it's just going to be another busy year. But we do have a lot of fun. We have a laugh. We do a lot of banter. So yeah, it's great fun. They do actually tease me when I'm not in the office, because I don't know whether anybody's heard of a game called Heads Up. We do play Heads Up if we go out in the car. When we could go out in the car, we play Heads Up. They threaten me when I'm not in the office if they play it when I'm not here. but only because I always win.
Well, you know what? And again, we've had the pleasure of working with yourself, Rachel, and Breedon for a few years now. And I mean, a question that's just come through from Gillian, which I'll share on the screen. Which what Gillian's asking here is quite important, actually. Yeah. And I think it's two points here. So Gillian's saying, how do you yourself, Rachel, keep yourself motivated with all these potential projects on the horizon? And she sort of split it into 2. Is it because you've got a good team, or is it because Breedon have good benefits? And do you want to answer that? Because I've got my view on it, but I'd like to hear it from you if that's all right.
Breedon is a great company to work for. It's one of the best companies I've ever worked for, and I've worked for a few. I won't tell you how many, but I've worked for a few. But the team are just, both myself and the team are very self-motivated. But one of the things we do is we do the resilience, we do the well-being. We look after each other. We've got a WhatsApp group where we're, you know, somebody's just bought a new puppy, and that's on the WhatsApp group. We do the so one of the things I also do is we do the AAT training. So we do a lot of APA training. I'm just talking to Mo at the minute about doing some face-to-face training with Jamie. So we do all that, and I think they appreciate the fact that I try and develop them, and they want to be developed, and they want to move forward in their career. And I get some of the team when I first started very much, I want to be an accountant, but then I came in and did different things for the team, and now they're all wanting to be accounts payable team leaders or accounts payable managers. So they're all hot on my heels at the minute. So it's literally just, for me, the well-being and development. And I've not worked anywhere and where has allowed me to do it as much as Breedon has. And also now the mentoring program as well. So a lot of the team are now asking for mentors, and some of the other teams within business services and within the group are now stealing my ideas. So they're looking at, say, mentoring programs up in their teams, or I'm now a mentor for a different department. So we're just like, it's very infectious as well, because my team, you know, love working with John, some of the Wright, they love all the well-being stuff that we do, and it's just got everybody working together. That they're sort of self-motivated because we develop them more.
Yeah, and you know what? I think I totally agree with all that what you just said. And I know that, you know, you've got the mentoring program. Breedon are a good employer. You know, they've invested in training and support, but you've got great leadership as well, Rachel. Let's not forget that. You know, and to Gillian's points, it takes a mix of all those things for people. Let's be honest, in an unloved, unrewarded area of a business, to have good leadership, you have to have somebody or individuals that are willing to fight the cause, bring that team forward, which you've been award-winning in the past. Gillian, who asked the question, relatively new actually over the last few years to accounts payable and accounts payable leadership, but actually somebody that I would love to be led by as well, Gillian. So we have some really strong leaders in the world of accounts payable. Let's not forget that you're one of those, Rachel. So all the good stuff that you said with the team, with Breedon as a business, and all the motivational stuff you do is because you're a great leader also. So totally agree with it all, but don't undersell yourself as well.
And I always struggle with that bit.
So let's just expand a little bit on that as well. So you're in a new building. We can see that, a new shiny building. Last week I announced that, you know, I'm going to try and visit more and more of our members, come out face to face. So I've hopefully been invited to come and see you guys there.
Absolutely.
And come and see what's like. So hopefully photos and maybe a video or two to follow. In terms of you motivating the team on an ongoing basis, is it a little different now that they're working sort of remotely and some in the office? Is that been a bit more of a challenge for you?
I'd probably say a little bit, but not really. They're all they sort of want to get on. They want to do a good job. They want to get it right. And if we see somebody struggling, then we will put more training in place. We do a lot of training with our tax team, which is obviously very exciting doing tax. We've got reverse charge VAT, we've got VAT training that we do. So a lot of them are hungry for information and are hungry to learn, and they just motivate themselves a lot of the time. But they can see that I'm supporting them 100%. One of the things that my team will get fed up with me saying, but it's ownership and responsibility. And if you give your team members ownership and responsibility, they will take that and they will run with it and they will just do it. And I know now I can, you know, go on holiday for a week if only. If I could go on holiday for a week, I know my team will just carry on without me being here. And that's what I want. That was my purpose when I first started at Breedon, was to have a team that was self-manage itself without me having to breathe down the necks or micromanage or anything like that. They just get on and do it, and I don't even have to worry about it now.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, we had a young lady called Kat Moy who joined us on the show. First time that she'd been on anything like this. And Kat has recently obviously started to get involved in the community. She'd been during AP week. And we say she borrowed something from your back of your wall, actually, Rachel. There she is. And do you know what? A cat. It's from the northeast. I've made a commitment. So I'm going to go up to the northeast. So hopefully she's got a coffee or an ale ready for me when I'm up there. But what was interesting was that Kat really has taken to this whole industry and working with a team very similar to what you do. And she just commented actually. So I'm going to put this on. And it's a lovely comment she just made. Well done, and fantastically. You're always an inspiration, Rachel. And I think this is what we do this stuff for. It's for our members. It's for yourselves to get together. Kat's been busy meeting some of our other influencer community, our members, having those sessions. And I think as a community, the only way we'll get through all the horrible last couple of years is as a community getting together. And that's all, kudos to you, Kat, and everybody else that's in our community. And I know that, Mike, we speak to lots of members and they all are being very supportive of one another. And we're just fortunate to sit there and be your communication channel, if nothing else.
Yeah.
One of the things that over the course of the last 12 months in listening to members and working to understand, it was quite startling when Karen and the team at Hayes published their findings around the massive dissatisfaction within many AP teams around, what was it, 55% of those surveyed said that they'd actually, entertain getting a different job because they didn't like the job they were in. And the whole thing about, I say it's not soft benefits, but everyone wants to get paid. There are the basics of the, why we go to work, but work-life balance, well-being, and feeling valued and fulfilled. You've created an environment where, like you say, you don't need to be there, and people aren't doing it for duty or obligation or out of fear. They're doing it because they own it. They're proud of what they do, and they do a good job. And I think where we've seen people invest in both, I know you're working with suppliers. We talked a little bit before we came on the show about the initiatives to actually help all the suppliers get paid faster by educating them through best practice, through quality. We've put together, like I say, a whole suite of a quality program to reinforce all of that and underline the real benefits of adopting best practice in all areas, including employee development and career advancement, which has been, we've been working at reward recognition and becoming the voice of AP since the foundation, and that vision's grown and our mission statement's grown with it. But fundamentally, it's everything that you're doing, Rachel. So that I know Jamie's he's telling all us that, because we don't see and engage with you as much, but he's like, oh, you want to believe what they're doing and what they've just gone through, and we've got to get them on. There's so many good stories to tell, and that's hopefully what over the next few weeks we're going to be able to do is get everybody on and start sharing and telling each other, about what's going on, what's coming up, how we can work together, and obviously we've got our hub where we'd like people to connect a bit more, and actually talk to each other instead of it being, through us all the time. So yeah, big shout out. If you're not using the hub or you're not connecting to people in the hub, there's a whole load of people there who can help you and want to help you potentially. So yeah.
Thank you, Mike. And it looks like it's one of these. This is your life story with Rachel, and we've got people just sitting in the chat, just praising all the great work you've done. But what's lovely, Gemma's quite new to the world of accounts payable. Comes from more of a credit professional background. Now heads up the team at Tarmac. But she's right. We've watched Breedon's progression over the last couple of years. I've had the fortune to be working with yourself, Rachel, and your team. Yeah. But it is, and I'll bang on about this until I'm blue in the face, that the only way that we're going to get the recognition, we'll get through all these horrible times that we've gone through, is as a community sticking together, learning from one another. Mike mentioned then the Q program, the quality program, which we've got, that's a new program that's come out. Gemma, actually, the team at Tarmac are going through that as well. I know that you're just about to start it, Rachel, the team at Breedon to go through the quality program. And yeah, Mike's right. The reality is we've done an awful lot over the last 5 years of building individuals profiles such as Rachel, Chloe, and all the team at Breedon. Now we need to get the recognition of your department and your organization as having best practice, so we can then sing from the sort of the treetops, and also show other businesses that you do follow what we would consider continuous improvement, quality, and ultimately be awarded that accreditation of quality from the APA. So we can't wait to see you on that. We'll have to get you back when you've gone through that program, hopefully, fingers crossed, to say some nice things. So look, we're going to wrap it up today. We've been on nearly 30 minutes. Always a pleasure to have you on, Rachael. And thank you for sharing not only the introduction to John, which we know is going to be superb. 2, thank you for sharing your story and your words of wisdom. But then 3, thank you for just working with the community at large, because I know that's what they enjoy, speaking to you, communicating with you. So thank you so much from us again.
Thank you. Can I just ask another little quote for Kat? So one of the things my team leaders will say, and one thing I've taught them is, we don't make mistakes, we make corrections. And my team leaders will always quote that, because I don't want people to think that they've done something wrong. It will be corrected. It's accounts payable, we'll sort it out. So we don't make mistakes, we make corrections. And then also, Gemma, I promise we'll be in touch soon.
And you know what? And again, there's too many comments in the site to share them all, but I thought I'd share a couple. But you're right. I mean, what we will see now, Rachel, is we'll have another mug made up by Kat, no doubt, with that comments on it. What we're going to do is try and get them commissioned to you and Kat, so you can make some money out of it. We will make sure we put you two in contact with each other. But again, thank you so much. I'll come and visit you over the next few weeks, and we'll have a catch up then. Mike, any final words before we wrap up for today?
No, just obviously the conference link, John, Sunderland, Wright, links down below. The 3 Peaks Challenge, links down below to support Rachael and the team. And we'll see you next week.
Lovely. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining everybody who's watching. Thank you, Rachael, and we will speak to you all next week. Thanks, Rachael.
Thank you.
See ya.